My oldest client is 84, and he has made amazing progress in the last weeks after having been on a plateau for over 40 years. How did he do this? Well, by following the advice I'm sharing with you in this video. Welcome. My name is Roxy, and I've been more than a full-time mountain bike skills coach for over a decade. Why more than full-time? Well, because I work on improving my own riding and coaching skills, and I coach online and in real life 7 days a week. I'm serious, 7 days a week, because I love sharing my knowledge to make this sport safer and easier to learn, especially for older people. Because although I also train pro riders, instructors, and younger riders, many of my clients are at an advanced age, so between 50 and 75 years of age. That's not because I have an old people magnet, or at least I haven't found it yet. It's because they realize that I apply certain principles, and over 50 riders very often experience what this 84-year-old experienced. So over the last years, I have developed a protocol that you can apply at any age actually, but it works specifically well if you are over 50 and would like to progress your mountain bike skills substantially in a short time. First, you need to know that there are 5 pillars to learning mountain bike skills effectively. You can imagine these pillars to be the feet of a roof, you know, like these Greek ancient temples. These 5 pillars are flexibility. I think in American you count like this. Flexibility, strength, the skill itself, so knowing the order and nature of the skill or the movement, coordination, and the mental game of learning, so your mindset. Let's look at these 5 pillars in detail. Flexibility decreases with age. It's just a fact. If you don't do anything against it, you will get less and less flexible every year. Why is flexibility important? Well, if you don't have the range of motion you need to perform a move, you can work on the skill as much as you want. Your body will just not perform it. Let me give you a practical example on this. I recently had a client who was really tight in her anterior chain, specifically in her chest. She had trouble to lift her head up high and bring it to her neck. While not a big problem, you may think, well, transfer this to the bike. She was terrified of riding steeps. So when you're riding steeps, you will be in this position for a long time as the bike will tilt forward, moving the handlebar farther away, and therefore you need to lift your head to look where you want to go. So this lady tried to work on her skills to get rid of her fear of steeps, and nothing helped. She visited lots of skills courses, nothing helped until we added flexibility to the equation. You see, a younger person may work on just the skill and your body will adapt faster and develop flexibility and maybe strength by doing so, but not after a specific age. And that's why actually I've developed a targeted and evidence-based flexibility program specifically for riders, which brings an impressive increase in range of motion quickly. You can find it here and in the pinned comment below. This lady now loves steeps because once that flexibility issue was gone, we could work on the skills and boom, it all worked out. The second pillar is strength. Well, generally, it takes longer to build muscle as you age. Absolute strength decreases and quick twitch muscles become less twitchy. It becomes harder to execute crisp movements and to exert short bursts of energy. When do you need this? Well, for bunny hops, for example, or wheel lifts. Can you still learn them at a higher age? Yes, but you need a special approach. Bear with me. The third pillar is the components of the skill itself. This is usually a sequence of specific moves which you need to execute in a specific way, in a specific order, and in a specific direction. You need to know what the direction, nature, and order of these movements is to be able to perform the grand finale of the skill itself. Well, with increasing age, we often lose the ability to learn visually like we could as a kid. We lose our innate ability to watch, imagine, and copy skills. In fact, we already significantly lose this ability at the age of around 12, when learning becomes more rational and less visual. That's why for adults, and especially older riders, it's super important to have a clear idea of the skill, a clear internal representation, a mental image of what the goal is before they start practicing. It's especially important to have more digestible chunks, to know the individual parts and phases of the skill, to have the skill broken down into smaller and realistic pieces to honor the slower learning speed. Otherwise, it'll just become frustrating. And because this enables you to know in which order you should practice the skills, to then avoid building limiting habits. Do you know how people build limiting and compensatory habits? Well, for example, by practicing skills in the wrong order, by practicing skills which are already further up the ladder, and hence they automatize the errors they have in their foundation of the skill by repeating the move. Therefore, especially riders beyond a specific age, a professional coach can help them progress much faster by helping them work on the right skills at the right time in the right order. Of course, this can help at any age, but it becomes more significant with advanced age, where the natural ability to copy moves and compensate for non-optimal moves with strength has decreased even further. So the fourth pillar is coordination. And actually, all there is to learning a skill is to have the range of motion, the strength, to know what to do when, and then to coordinate your muscles. Sounds easy, right? How hard can it be? Well, if this were true, then everyone could bunny hop, everyone could jump, everyone could do any skill. So while this is true, coordination can be learned, it takes time. Learning to coordinate your muscle needs to occur over an extended period of time, and most importantly, coordination builds with deliberate and structured practice. And it's an indispensable part of performing a skill on your mountain bike. And this is actually where pillar number 5 comes into play. It's the mindset. But first I want to add that working on your coordination off the bike will help you to improve your coordination on the bike. And I have a small free follow along lesson, coordination lesson right here. Okay, now let's come to pillar number 5, the biggest and most important pillar in my opinion, as it governs all the others. It's the mindset. It's the mental game of learning skills. So the reason why most riders I meet hit a plateau is that they don't have a learning mindset. What is a learning mindset? In a nutshell, it's a state of mind that enables growth. It's the petri dish for skill growth. Firstly, a person with a learning mindset knows that you must make errors to progress, so that failure is not an undesired side effect, but it's actually a necessity to learn. It's a necessity to progress. In other words, you must be prepared to look clumsy, maybe even stupid, doing disjointed, awkward movements, and that you may well realize that there is a lot you are really bad at. And boy, this takes strength. Although it makes sense. I mean, after all, how can you progress if you're good at everything already? Many older riders, however, especially those who have been riding for years, do not like this part. They are downright petrified of looking stupid and they are petrified of looking stupid and scared of committing errors. However, if you bring the mindset and embrace and expect errors, you're at a great spot to start. So secondly, a learning mindset involves actually acknowledging that there is lots to learn. In other words, it involves being ready to do the things you're bad at and not to keep repeating the things you're good at. This also means that you go out looking for the things you don't know yet versus looking for the things you do already know and keep doing more of the same. Let me give you an example of this. Many older riders I know have a great fitness. They keep going out on long rides and they say, hey, I don't like those technical descents. I'm fine on the easy ones, I just like climbing really hard. So they keep going on long rides, improving their stamina with every ride, but doing zero for their flexibility, their strength, their coordination, their skill, and mindset by doing so. If now, let's call this rider Bill. Let's say Bill now decides, hey, wait, wouldn't it be cool to learn a bunny hop? Then it's hard to acknowledge that all Bill has been doing for the last 40 years didn't help him very much to learn a bunny hop. Saying, okay, I've been riding for 40 years, but actually I have like almost zero skills beside pedaling up a hill hard and surviving a descent, it takes a lot of strength. And thirdly, and this is this is often one of the hardest parts of a learning mindset, is being open to regress, to progress. This goes hand in hand with needing to accept criticism from people much younger than you. But this is key. And actually, once you've mastered this part of the mindset, this is where sudden, fast, and persistent progress takes place, no matter the age. So you need to be willing to regress to progress, humble enough to start all over, and to work hard and persistently. And here is my secret tip. If you have watched this entire video, you now know as a fact that no, you will not learn how to ride gnarly trails or a bunny hop or a manual in 1 or 2 days or a week. You need structured practice and ideally external feedback over an extended period of time to progress. And this is actually where online coaching becomes the most cost-effective and efficient way to learn for riders at an advanced age, because you're able to learn in digestible chunks at your own speed and actually afford coaching regularly. So my suggestion, work on pillar number 5, the mindset first. This will allow you to find your coach to work on the other 4 with you. When a student is ready, the teacher will appear. Decide what you want to reach, who you want to spend time with, adapt a learning mindset, and you'll start attracting the right companions. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So long, my friends. Sending much, much love.